Assalamu alaikum, it's me, Salam Sabi, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello. Um, this video is vlog. I always say video, I should say vlog. Is about trying to find a job as a Muslima. Sorry. Somebody's texting me like pictures of henna that I had placed on my hands, so I need to put this phone on silent. I'll see if I can make a video on it. Um, Currently, I'm in the process of finding a job, and I think for a Muslim woman that can be somewhat complicated depending on what her degree is in, if she has one, or what career she wants to necessarily pursue. And I do have a job. So for people who think I don't have a job, I do have a job, but it's not something I plan on doing long term. It's something I actually want to get out of as soon as possible. Insha Allah, I'll be able to find a much better paying job. Um, right now, I'm just looking at certain jobs I may want to work, and a lot of the jobs are not really what I would like to pursue or do. First thing was a call center job. I've worked enough call centers since I was young and in college to last me a lifetime. I want to tell any Muslim sister that's trying to find a job, the easiest job to find is a call center job, because people can't see you with your hijab on, so they obviously can't get offended or feel, uncomfortable talking to you because they can't see you. So those jobs are always open to Muslim women who cover. Alhamdulillah, at least we can work somewhere. And also another field that I see a lot of Muslimas is retail. Of course, especially during the holidays, they hire a lot of people, and all year round, I see a lot of Muslim sisters, black, white, Asian, Middle Eastern. They work in retail or in like the grocery stores. Well, guess what? I've already had jobs like that. I've worked in call center, I've worked in retail, I've worked in an office, I've worked in a school. I've done a lot of different type of jobs. I actually haven't worked that many jobs, but I've worked in a few fields, and I do have a degree that I don't really use, but student loans are still coming, so of course I still have to find a job and pay that off. So some people ask, what do you have a degree in? I have a degree in social science. I have a degree in criminal justice. The field that I necessarily want to go into, the problem is that they don't want you wearing hijab, and one of the reasons is for safety purposes. Of course, they don't want you wearing it anyways because they think it's tacky. They don't care if it's for Allah. They just don't want any Muslims there anyways. In the field I'm trying to go into, one note I would like to make is that when I was up north, I saw a lot of Muslim women working in all types of fields. Um, so it's not until you come down here and people are more broad-minded and they don't really want to hire you if you don't look like everyone else, if you can't assimilate into the culture, then they pretty much don't want to hire you. Any job where people consider it to be extremely professional, they don't want to hire you. Um, you make people feel unwelcomed. I've actually heard this said that when a Muslim woman works at a workplace, she makes other people feel uncomfortable because she doesn't want to hear profanity or hear inappropriate conversation or mingle with the opposite sex, and they want certain accommodations that everyone else can't have. They can go and pray while we can't do that. It's just, special accommodations for Muslims. I'm sorry, somebody just sent me a text. And it's just one of those things where, you know, the question has come, should I wear my hijab and trying to find a job, or should I just not wear it and find a job? And then once they hire me, I put it on and say, surprise, I'm Muslim. You can't do nothing about it. I'm going to wear my headscarf. It really is a hard question to answer. Certain fields are more open to us. The medical field is more open to us now. In the doctor's offices, that's a little bit harder, but like in the hospitals, I see plenty of Muslims. Some choose to cover their heads in the traditional way, and some choose to cover it more just tying it back. But there are jobs within the medical field. The field that also, there's jobs within education. I see a lot of Muslims who go into the educational field because they really can't discriminate against you if you're wearing a hijab. They really can't. Now, of course, in certain areas, they don't like Muslims and they won't hire you to work in their school system. But overall, if you're a Muslim and you have a degree in education, there's much more tolerance. You should be able to work within primary schools, universities, and all types of stuff. Of course, I didn't pick education. So right now, it's just, I could find a job that I don't like. I could go and probably find a retail job, a call center job, a job that would make me absolutely miserable. And then you have people who tell you, well, sister, rather than finding a job, why don't you just find a husband? And that would be great, but I don't like sitting home all day. And of course I can do community service and work, but that's not all day either. I would still need something else to do before I go home. Some people would say, oh, go back to college. Not now. I really want to sort of get my life settled for a few years and then go back to school. I do plan on getting my master's. There is a field that I do enjoy. I'm not going to say what it is. I can't tell you all my business, but there is a field that I do want to go into. I thought about going straight into the master's program, but I decided, you know what, you're already in debt. I think it's best you wait and try to get a real job or some type of career started. And also, I 100% support Muslim women who want to start their own business. If you know how to do hair, if you know how to do henna, if you know how to sew, if you know how to design, if you're just a natural businesswoman, if you're just an entrepreneur, if you're just a hustler, I say, yo, go and do it. Because these people on the outside, and I don't like using that word that starts with a K. I just prefer to say those people, most of them don't want to hire us. And Some people will go and work for the Arabs and the Pakistanis and stuff like that, and I prefer not to, because those jobs don't pay well. You're basically an assistant and you're barely making enough to survive. Been there, done that, not working for other Muslims, but working jobs that you barely survive. I say if you have a hustle, if you know how to do hair, if you can do nails, whatever, find your hustle in order to survive if you don't want to work for anyone. Personally, I can't braid hair. I can't really do any of that, and really that doesn't interest me at all. I would love to own my own Islamic clothing store and sell hijabs and um, jalababs, niqabs, and all types of stuff. I would love to do that, a little store. And I would definitely, that is something I see I could do in my future, is open a very nice Islamic store. That's not too expensive. And also, I would also like selling like Islamic books. And speaking of books, I'm reading a book called Studies in Hadith, Mythology and Literature. Oh my God, I just literature. If you guys notice, sometimes I don't pronounce my words correctly, and as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. I don't know why, but sometimes my tongue just doesn't move right. I don't know why. And it's written by, okay, I'm about to kill his name, M. Mustafa El Azami. And it's basically telling you about the basics of hadith. It's not telling you hadith stories. It does have examples, but it's just explaining what is in hadith, the history behind it, the famous there's a name for people who write hadiths, and also I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry, but it just explains, Abu and Aisha, and it just explains all of the famous people. There's a name, I just don't know what it is, who wrote these hadiths, because sometimes people spit out hadiths and they really don't know what they're talking about. There's basically a hadith for almost everything, but that doesn't mean it's valid. And I just got tired of people telling me all of these hadiths that sometimes aren't even sound. So I decided to study it for myself. And also, hopefully, inshallah, I'll be able to have at least a basic understanding of hadiths and sunnah and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyways, back to trying to find jobs. I'm almost out of time. I'm just going to keep on searching, and somebody asked me, am I going to wear my hijab to job interviews? And I'm going to say with an open heart, I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to pretend that I'm the perfect Muslim. I don't know. I think it's depending on the job. So certain jobs, are more open to diversity, and certain jobs are not. I would rather wear hijab. But really, right now, I'm indecisive. But I would never tell another Muslima to take off her hijab to find a job, because that is her protection. It was ordered within the Quran to wear it. But also, if you're in survival mode and you're trying to survive, then it's one of those situations where Allah, He knows your heart and He knows your intentions. I'm not saying what you're doing is right, but you do have bills to pay. You do have mouths to feed. Everybody's situation is different. So I'm just going to keep on trying to find my career path. I don't know how long it'll take, but that's just for other Muslim sisters out there who are trying to find a job or trying to start their careers. You're not alone. I'm right behind you. Time is up. Assalamu alaikum.